What's going on, everybody? It's your man with the plan, ShaneMan20. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day so far. So before we get rolling into today's video, first things first, I do want to say I apologize that it's been about like 2 or 3 weeks since I've gotten you guys a video. Honestly, life got really busy really quickly. It was hard to get anything done and try and find any lick of motivation the last couple weeks. But I will say that the last video with introducing my new cammed truck, honestly, your guys' support has been incredible, because I think that video is now like over 40,000 views, and that's just unreal. So thanks, guys. You know, really, I do thank you a lot for the support on that, and to all the haters, you guys are the ones making me famous. Thank you. So update on the vehicles. Well, the car has had its 60,000 mile service at like around 61.5. All that entails a throttle body cleaning, fuel injector cleaning, spark plugs replaced, the air cleaner is replaced, the air cabin filter is replaced. They did go through the brake fluid, they replaced the brake fluid, checked over everything else with the car, and then obviously gave it an oil change. Beyond that, everything else is done with the car, and that set me back quite a bit. I really wasn't expecting all that work to, you know, take that much. And the nice thing was they found a nail in the right rear tire, and they were able to fix that for me. So 2.5 hours of work, and they took good care of me. I'm not gonna lie, they took good care of me. So I want to thank Falcon Subaru once again for taking care of my car. Those guys are awesome, and the car just runs like a top. I love it. As far as the truck is concerned, well, something has changed. If you guys will recall back to the wheels and tires that I bought for it a while back, well, guess what? They're finally on the truck. Oh my goodness. Whew, God, these wheels look so good. So if you guys will recall, these are OE Creations, part number PR169. And I believe it's MB. M as in monster, B as in boy. Of course, MB standing for machined in black. These are 22 by 9 inch wheels, and they are wrapped with Nitto NT 420Ss that are in a 285/40 R22. Now, the reason for going with an odd size was because these tires are actually speed rated, so they're good for 149 miles an hour, which I may or may not take this truck up to that speed yet. I'm not really sure. I've made it to 120. And then, of course, my favorite thing is these blue spiked lug nuts. They're subtle, and they don't really have a huge presence, but they're there. And I really like the kind of offset that it has on an otherwise black truck. And my goodness, does it look damn good. And just so you guys know, these wheels are ceramic coated. I ceramic coated them before I put them on using Adam's wheel ceramic coating, I believe is what that is. Bought the kit forever ago, had like no time to get everything ready, and finally found like random time to finally, you know, put it on there. And my goodness, like, it pretty much will get it right off of there. I mean, right now the wheels are really dirty. I've been driving this truck like a lot lately since I've gotten it back, and the car is no different. Where are you going? Now, as far as like how the truck has been and how it's running so far, well, let me tell you, it's been running really good. I haven't had hardly any issues out of it. There has been one small problem that has kind of developed, and that is, depending on what you're doing, if you're working the truck kind of hard, like you're going up a hill, or you're coming up out of a hill or something like that, or depending on certain light throttle applications, the truck will want to die or does die. And well, we've been kind of working out the bugs with that. Over this last weekend, we happened to go to a dyno day, which I will have video of that in another video. We happened to go to a dyno day, myself and my girlfriend, and just so happened that my tuner David Griffin was there with his ZR1. We both put the truck and his car on the rollers, and he was cool enough to actually help fix that small issue. So for right now, the truck is running really well. It hasn't had this problem come back yet, or at least I haven't been able to replicate it again. But that's the nice thing is he was able to fix that real quick, and we also fixed some transmission things as well, which he was real cool about doing. And you know, I can't say enough about David Griffin. Really cool guy, nice cars, and he does a tremendous job at tuning. I'm absolutely blown away. Of course, this is what I have to deal with on an absolute daily basis, is cute kittens fighting each other because they can. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to go on ahead and do some Q&A stuff. Wanted to take some time to let those questions develop, and then I would go on ahead and answer as many as I could. So let's get to that, shall we? So before we roll into the Q&A and general comment section of the previous video, I do want to thank you all for participating in the Q&A. If you guys would like to participate in the next one, make sure you guys are following me on Instagram as well as Facebook. I will post an image up that has something to do with whatever, and then I will ask you guys for a Q&A if you guys want to, you know, ask something. And then whatever new video I post, I will also do a Q&A section in there with a pinned comment, so that way you guys can leave questions, and we can go do something like that for a little bit, and we'll see how that format works for a little while. How's that sound? So anyways, getting into the Q&A section, we're going to start off with the YouTube side of it. We'll work into the Instagram and then finally Facebook. So first one here is from 304 Street Performance. He says, Shane Man 20, what exhaust are you running? I have a Corsa catback exhaust system. If we want to go further than that, it's stainless long tube headers, off-road Y pipe, all that good stuff. Next one is pricing, and I've been seeing a couple of things in here to do with pricing. I will get you guys a dedicated video on the pricing side of it, so that way it's kind of a sectioned off thing. I know, I'm sorry I didn't do it on this one, but just kind of with the constraints that I have right now, I can't really, you know, throw everything out here. I can tell you it was a few grand for at least the cam and the stall. And keep in mind, it's a custom grind cam, and then of course a local converter shop made the you know, set up the converter for me. So it's been incredible so far. Can't really complain about it at all. Fly Guy XII, tuned for E85 or pump gas. It is tuned for pump gas at this time. I may work on getting an E85 tune later on. Haven't really talked to my tuner David yet about doing anything like that. We had talked about it previously. But he said he wasn't sure about whether it would be worth the gains or not. So we might do it later on. We'll just have to take a look and see if it's something we want to, you know, look into. Big_Herm, any port work done on the heads? No port work at all whatsoever. Just basically refreshed it a little bit and then put new valve springs, titanium retainers, all that good stuff. Cam specs and price, again, I can tell you that it cost a few grand. I will break it down on the next video, or one of my next videos at least. But as far as cam specs, I can't really say on the cam specs because it's a custom grind. I've been told not to talk about it. So what I can tell you, it is a pretty big camshaft, and it could easily be a 6.2 liter camshaft, like a small 6.2 camshaft, really. Isaiah Dodson, why lower a four-wheel drive? Because I can. And so the comment section has been really interesting the last couple weeks. You know, Ken Podge, you come to South Texas, every Mexican and their mom has a Chevy truck down here. I'm sure that's true. Oh, and this one's probably my favorite one, is the SpongeBob version. Why you lower your 4x4 needs to be lifted on Rockstar rims with a light bar. That's pretty much everybody right now. BS Funk 44, you are probably one of my most favorite areas right now. Lots of work to have a slow truck, you know. I already answered to him, and, you know, I said, gotta start somewhere. If you would have bought a supercharger instead of this laundry list of mediocre mods, you would be somewhere. And, you know, my opinion on that is it's different strokes for different folks. Yeah, it's mediocre maybe, but it's the direction that I wanted to go with it, because once I do things like, you know, the nice thing is this camshaft does give me some variety to go with. So, you know, I don't have to necessarily go one way or another. And, you know, I'm just not as big a fan of throwing a supercharger on it and saying, hey, look, I'm done. Everybody else can do that. And I'm not knocking it. It's just not the way I wanted to go. So, and my response to that is different strokes for different folks. You know, it's whatever you want to do. It's your truck. You do what you want. So, yeah. So All right, Christian Mendez, he says, question, so did they save the tune to that Diablo Trinity, or the Trinity is no use now, or how does it all work still? Or is it just for monitoring? Thanks. So basically, technically the Trinity is really of no use. I pretty much use it for monitoring and data logging right now. Strictly for that purpose, because eventually I am going to get HP tuners. HP tuners has been fantastic, and it seems like an easy enough setup to learn as long as you know what you're doing. But that's pretty much the case. It's like, I think that's the route I'm going to go, but I'm going to keep the DiabloSport Trinity as a means of data logging and trying to keep in place of, okay, this is where I'm at and this is what it looks like. So, nothing to freak about. So yeah, that's what that is. If that's, yeah. Zach Power, he asks, I'm just curious, what's a big cam for a 5.3? Well, Texas Speed's stage 4 is like a 225, 231, and that's at 50 thousandths. Of course, 635 thousandths of an inch lift on both sides. I will tell you, my cam is bigger. Eli Haynes asks, where are you from in Indiana? Well, the best thing I can tell you is BFE. That's probably a better way to look at it. Near a cornfield. I live in town, like in a small little suburb town, so we're big enough we have our own light. We don't have a gas station, at least not right now yet, so we're big enough to have our own set of flashers, and yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Nazario Mendoza, what kind of gains did you see from swapping over the intake manifold and throttle body from your Gen 5 6.2 onto your L83? I'm going to be honest with you. It's minuscule, if anything. The best you're probably going to see is maybe 3 horsepower, 1 to 3 horsepower. But really, that was a kind of a pre-mod to the rest of everything else that I wanted to do. Because especially with the route that I wanted to go, I wanted to keep with that and still, go with a bigger throttle body, bigger intake. And to be honest with you, the intake manifold, as far as design is concerned, is the same as the L83. The only thing that changed was the port size. That's it. That's all it's really changed. Or, as far as like the opening for the throttle body, I apologize. The opening for the throttle body is the only thing that changed. As far as like the rest of it and the overall porting and stuff is all the same. It's all the same as an L83. Performance Trucks, Streetcraft Houston, and I already answered to you, that's Streetcraft Indianapolis. They're their own entity. Great guys, Nick and the boys, they're awesome. Love them. This is another funny one that I really liked, which was Sean Gangstad, I believe is how you pronounce that name. Definitely thumbs down. Music during a burnout, added water, bro. No. I literally skipped through to find the burnout and was disappointed. It looks like a disappointing face. So, hey, you know what? It's all you. You can do what you want, and it is what it is. I don't really care. I did what I wanted to. Garrison Jaksic. It's not a single cab. No. It's got 4 doors. Jay Navarro. Hey boss, really interested in doing this for my truck, but not really trying to be out of line. But about how much was everything, so I can have an idea how much. Thanks, bro. If you don't want to say cost, I understand. I had to ask. Like I said, I will do a video that outlines everything for the cam install. But essentially, I will also do like maybe in the same video covering everything in total that I've done with the truck, and we'll cover how much everything I've done to it has cost so far. But basically, a few grand is what you can usually wager for something like that, and you can still have some pretty good power gains for something like that. LS Brandon, why everybody want fast truck now? Anyway, how much wheel horsepower? Well, to answer the first one, because I mean, this is America. We can kind of do what we want. Kinda, I say kinda, but I just wanted something different. I could have gone out and bought a 4th gen Camaro with an LS. I could have bought a C5. I could have done a lot of things, and I just didn't. I was like, I already have a truck. I already have a vehicle with a V8 here. Why not just use it? And my thing is in the next couple of years, I'm probably going to outgrow that truck as far as what I can do with it, as far as uses. Like, from a basic truck standpoint, a half ton is just not enough for me. And so in the coming years, it's probably going to boil down to me either picking up a 3/4 ton or 1 ton diesel, and that's just how it is. But how much wheel horsepower? As you guys saw in the video, 412 horsepower to the wheels, and that was at 6,300 RPMs at, I believe, 406 pound-feet of torque. I'm not 100% sure where that was at. I think it was like closer to like 52, 53, 5,400 RPMs. Jason Frazier, what cam and size, name, and brand? Also, engine size in your truck. Again, can't exactly go through with cam specs and all that stuff. There is no real brand name. I mean, I'll tell you right now, Land Speed Development is who spec'd the camshaft, and Bullet Racing was who ground the camshaft. So if you want that camshaft, you want to get a very similar one to that, or you want that same grind, contact Brett Land at Land Speed Development. He'll get you set up. Tell him Shane Man 20 sent you. He'll set you straight up. Also, engine size, for everybody that doesn't know, is a 5.3 liter L83. John Alexander, what exhaust setup and mufflers are you running? Again, stainless works long tube headers, no cats, off-road Y pipe, and then of course a catback exhaust system, Corsa Sport, for those of you that are wondering. And by the way, I'm going to tell you right now, nothing against Corsa and the sound and what it makes. You know, this sounds fantastic on this truck, but the drone right now has been ungodly, and it's like, oh. So I do plan on fixing it, and I plan on modifying the exhaust a little bit. I'm just not sure how I want to do it yet. So keeping a lookout, because I may end up changing the exhaust very soon. Abraham Pineda, sure. What did it cost? Again, a few grand to have it done. B. Tinsley, just buy a 6.2 and be done. Would love to. Should have done it the right way to begin with, but at the time I really didn't have the money to buy an LTZ or a 6.2 liter, so you just kind of have to stick with what you get. Hash glass, trans sucks in them things, right? Well, with the 6L80, it's hit and miss. It really depends on your tuner. Really, I mean, at the end of the day, it depends on your tuner and what they can do as far as making the transmission hold, because they know it's a weak link in the entire operation. They know it's not that great. So really, you have to find a good, reputable tuner for these transmissions, because some of them will hold 1,000 horsepower all day long. Some blow at 500. It just depends. Fomico 1320 sounds like a freaking straight piped Cummins at idle. And I have to agree, that's why I call it diesel mode. And essentially, the only reason, a lot of people have probably hit that part of the video and thought, oh, well, you just had a mild camshaft put in and now it's it. Somebody lied to you, you know. And there is a comment in here, and I'll read it off to you. But otherwise, that's just what happens when the air conditioning is on. And anytime I'm working the air conditioning hard, yeah, it just turns in and sounds like a diesel. So it is what it is. Tyler Siddle, you would know what it sounds like if you'd actually built the truck yourself. Yeah, you're right. Probably could have, but I just chose to do this route instead. Could have done it in the backyard. Could have done it out here. A lot of it I didn't really feel 100% comfortable with. And so with that being said, you know, I still had to have something that I could drive reliably with no issues. So that's why I took it to Streetcraft, let them guys handle it. It took them about 2 months. Most of it was being held back because of the camshaft not coming in. But otherwise, you know, they did an excellent job. The truck still runs fantastic. You know, I have no complaints out of that truck whatsoever right now. They all did a fantastic job. So Streetcraft, Nick and the boys did fantastic. David Griffin of Griff Tuned, he's my tuner. He did a tremendous job, and he's also helped out tremendously even afterwards, you know, so God love him. And of course, Brett Land of Land Speed Development, he's the one that spec'd the camshaft, and Bullet Racing ground the camshaft. So anyway, Tory Lucking, I guess you don't need your rear axle either. What a shame. Well, I mean, it's a 12-bolt rear end. It's not going anywhere, so it is what it is. Yeah, there it is. Chad, not Brad. So you spent all this money to put a mildly rough idle cam and to lower a four-wheel drive. Must have more money in the sense, because that's the dumbest damn thing I've ever seen. Exhaust sounds like a teenager's fart can dream. Since you're obviously not too bright, that means it sounds like shit. Major fail. Well, if you would have gotten more into the video, you probably would have saw that, but I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do because you can't fix some things, but it's not really so much a more money than sense kind of thing. I mean, I've seen a lot of people take four-wheel drives and lower them. I've known people with even square bodies back in the day. They would lower them and do the same thing. You know, nobody cares. It's all about having fun. It's all about having fun and doing what you want. Who cares what anybody else thinks? So I really don't care what he thinks. I give a shit less. And then, of course, there was a couple comments on here that we're talking about maybe leaving some stall or not starting at stall at all. Because if you guys were paying attention, I tried to launch the truck at full stall and it obviously didn't work out very well. So to those guys that did leave those comments, I am going to try that in another video. Just haven't had any time yet. You know, of course, that's kind of the big thing. We can either leave off idle or leave it with a little bit of stall to kind of take around with it. And I'll try that again just to see if maybe that'll help a little bit. Of course, I haven't had a chance to take it to the track this year. There's probably going to be one time I'm going to, and that all depends on whether or not it's going to be open that day. So I guess we'll just have to see. Todd Davis, leave the muffler, add a resonator to take out the noise and drone. Look on Summit. Vibrant has some super quiet, non-restrictive resonators that give more bass tone and take out the drone. I am going to look into those again. I had originally thought about looking into a 26-inch MBRP to put in place of my current muffler, but you guys might be onto something because I think I'm just going to do a whole different exhaust. And I was really debating on cutting up this exhaust that's on here because it's a great exhaust. I don't like how droney it is. Avery Gentry. So you're saying the factory torque converter will not handle the extra 75 to 100 horsepower. That is not true. It will handle it, but because it's such a big camshaft and there's almost no vacuum, it will stall the truck out every time you try to put it in gear. Or it'll lug itself at every light and try to like grab a hold of everything. It's kind of difficult to explain in words, but I just know that from a little bit of experience and from general know-how. It'll just grab a hold of everything. And so could I have gotten away with a slightly lower stall than 3200? Of course, I probably could have. Probably could have done like 2800 and been just fine. But needed a little bit more stall to be able to, you know, not stall out everywhere, or just not really stall out everywhere, just in general, just to make it somewhat drivable, if that makes any sense. Oh, and of course, I asked some guys what I thought would be better, is the same chrome tips or black tips. I will eventually look into black tips. I'm just kind of playing around with some stuff right now. I've thought about looking into a different design as well for my exhaust, and I may be looking into possibly getting a roll pan. Not really sure yet. I'm looking into it. Not really 100% sure what I want to do yet. Brian Acosta, what's the drop? It is an Inez Hot Rods 4-inch front lowering kit. And that comes with their upper and lower control arms, and they have sway bar end links as well. Great kit, I love it. And then, of course, the Beltec 6-inch rear flip kit, or it's good for 5 to 7 inches, I believe. 5 to 7 inches of drop. And yeah, it's a good kit. I like it, and then I also have Calvert Racing traction bars in the back, so it's kind of stiffened it up a little bit, but it has Beltec Street Performance shocks all the way around. Great ride. I'm going to have to loosen up the traction bars a little bit, see if I can give it some give, and if it would not be as stiff in the back. C-List, there's another good one right here. Man with the Plan, what a freaking millennial. You know, I'm just going to be honest in that. I don't really like being labeled as a particular grocery item. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. You call people whatever you want if it makes you feel better, I guess. Levy Butler, who's curious to chew piston. There's a plethora of negative comments on here. Honestly, I don't know. I didn't do anything. I built this truck and they all showed up. So it is what it is. I don't know what happened. Silverado, rim size and tire. At the time of the video, that was my stock 18s. Those were the ones that generally came on the Z71 trucks, so they're 18s, and then the tire is something I can't remember. I got to go back out there because I have to buy new tires for that anyways. I'm debating on buying new tires for it anyways to get it through the winter. I'm not going to drive it a lot through the winter. I just want to have something to put it on so if I want to drive it, I can drive it. Todd Shore again. Todd Shore asks what it costs again, a few grand. I will do a video on it eventually. Isaiah Dotson, why did you lower four-wheel drive? Because I wanted to. America Audit Stir now impressed me by doing an all four-wheel drive burnout one of these days maybe. Tim Vaughn, your sound quality sucks. Well, GoPro's only so good. Badass Engineering, you may benefit from emission motor lower temp thermostat swap from the 212 for a 180 or even 160. I think these trucks, I think they actually come with like a 180 from the factory because my truck likes to sit at 180. I don't know how that really works. I'll have to go and look again, but I mean, they didn't really, make a big deal out of it needing a thermostat. And I mean, as long as I'm driving the truck, it stays cool. It's just when you sit somewhere for a long period of time and let it idle, it gets a little pissy about it. And Badass Engineering also asked, please update us on what happened to your fuel economy. I will do another video or make it the same videos in the next and let you guys know. I think you guys will be really surprised. Fly Guy, can you share cam specs? No. Sorry, bub. Can't do it. Matt Baker, I need that cam. Where do I sign? Call Brett Land at Land Speed Development. He'll get you set up. Tell him Shane Man 20 sent you. AJ Alonso, what mods did you go with? If you don't mind me asking. There was a whole mod list that was in that video. If you guys want to check it out, that's everything that I've done to it. Rafael Herdado, excuse me. How much did that setup cost you? Again, a few grand for the cam install and all the installation. Hooking them. Are you going E85 and go with black chrome? I will go E85 eventually. Like I said, I'm just going to wait a little bit and kind of see how the truck plays out. And then black chrome for the tips. Yeah, we can do that. So that wraps up the YouTube side of the comments. I'm going to flip over to Instagram here. And so on Instagram, the Big T18, what made you choose that truck? Well, the day that I bought it, as far as that, if you're talking about just like why I bought that truck in general, why I chose this one, well, to be honest with you, it was one of the nicer ones that I could find. It had everything that I was looking for, and of all the trucks, aside from getting an LTZ, which is the day, that day I couldn't realistically walk out with an LTZ because it would have been a $600+ a month payment, and it was just ridiculous. I didn't really feel like paying that much for a truck at that time. Not to say that it wasn't worth it, but it just didn't feel right. So I got this one, and it just so happened to be black. It was a giant. it just happened to be a giant coincidence because my dad also has a black Silverado. So black seems to stay in the family a lot. I don't know why. And then flipping over to Facebook, Sean Lynn asks, when is it getting a turbo? As soon as you give me the money. That's the only way that's ever going to get done. So I don't know right now. I mean, like I said, the cam does give me a lot of options. I can go any way I want to. So without kind of like saying too much about the cam and the specs and stuff like that, I'll just say the cam gives me options, so I can go whatever route I want to. So guys, that wraps up the Q&A section as well as the negative comment kind of thing. If this is something you guys want to see more of, please let me know in the comment section below. And definitely follow me on Instagram as well as Facebook. And do keep an eye out for one of the videos because it will definitely have a pinned comment that asks for another Q&A. So if it's something that we see as being popular, we could do that over the winter and I can answer some of your guys' questions the best I can. So anyways, that wraps up this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up because I do appreciate it. Also, if this is your first time stopping into this channel, please hit that subscribe button because it also means the world to me. And if you're going to hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell next to the subscribe button because if you don't, you're just missing out on the good things in life. You're not going to be notified. You're going to be left out in the dark. Nobody likes being left out in the dark. Do you, Ray? No, you don't. Anyways, with all that said, guys, hopefully you have a fantastic day and take it easy.